everyone's story or like how their first generation identity, what it shapes up to be is very different and very unique. But I think there's a lot of beauty and power in the story and like being the first. Along with all of that beauty and celebration, there's a lot of learning, a lot of growing pains that have to happen because you're going the road less traveled based on where you come from and your experience and your background. And so that's a lot of like having to figure things out on your own, making mistakes and learning from them. But even in the midst of all that, there's a lot of celebrating that happens because it is a big deal. It's a big deal to get into college, it's a big deal to finish, and it's a big deal to refine your passion while you're getting your bachelor's degree.
Growing up, I always knew I was going to go to college, but the application process was really difficult because my family didn't understand, like, I was staying after school to apply for scholarships. I was staying after school to fill out my applications or my essays, and like they just didn't understand.
You know, I always knew that I did come from a different background than most students, and I knew that I was overcoming something that most students weren't overcoming. It was with Kessler we had the conversation about what first gen actually means. We all feel like when we came to college that like there's something that they didn't teach us when we were in school or something that we don't have at home, but also there's a shared level of perseverance amongst us. You know, you made it through high school, you made it to college, and you made it through a first year of college. So now the next couple of years, it's like, you know, why can't I keep going or why can't I do more?
I've stepped out of my comfort zone and I've pushed myself to do something that people in my family haven't done. You're surrounded by people whose parents have degrees and like they know what's happening and like you're kind of lost. If you want to know something, you have to actually go out and find it. Nobody's a phone call away. So that's what makes us first gens very independent. Kessler has been there for me throughout this whole process.
I have to make something of myself. I'm not doing it only for myself, I'm doing it for my family, and I'm doing it for my future kids, and I'm doing it for everybody who has had to deal with being a first-generation student and has had to deal with parents who are immigrants or coming from a low socioeconomic background. I'm doing it for all of them.
Your parents' education shouldn't impact your future, your success story. I'm going to be graduating. Whenever it is that I'm struggling with something, I just remember, like, I can do this.
Struggles that maybe, you know, we all thought that I was gonna face, you know, I'm able to get through because I am a first gen, and not just because of me solely, because of this community that's here, you know, specifically at the University of Michigan.
By us like creating spaces for us to talk about first generation identity, we really release the stigma associated with it. And by releasing that stigma, we give people the power to become who they want to become and build what they want to build. The obstacles will seem a lot less daunting if we say, yes, you're first generation, let's talk about it, let's get you what you need. I think that's the greatest strength of programs like Kessler Scholars. They release the stigma, they get rid of the shame associated with asking for help and not knowing, and that's what we need to do.